Today, the Porsche Macan Turbo. There are some people in the car world who consider the Porsche Macan not to be a real Porsche. I'm not one of them. I really think that if somebody wants the engineering, the luxury and the sportiness of a Porsche, but have different needs to a 911 owner, why not? When I was in my 20s, I had to get rid of my beloved MGB GT V8, the very first sports car that I had owned. My son Henry had just been born and we just didn't have a need for it. I would have loved something like this if I had had the money to be able to afford it. This is not a cheap car, but it is the perfect blend of sportiness, luxury and space that someone in that situation would just love. And more, Porsche has not always been in rude health financially, so if it can invest in something which keeps it going, allows it to become stronger, then why is that a bad thing? Sure. And as the range has expanded into Cayman, Panamera, Cayenne, Macan, then they've discovered new customers and they've kept their existing customers happy. I know people who have a 911 and one of the SUVs. For this particular model, I'd say they've got the market sewn up too. What else competes with it in its sector? I guess you've got the BMW X3, the Mercedes GLC, the Jaguar F-Pace and the Audi Q5, with whom it shares its MLB platform. And we'll be doing a film on that car in the next few weeks, so look out for that and we'll see how it compares. But demonstrably, none of those are a Porsche, and none of them get to call themselves a Porsche Turbo. For some people, that's worth something, and probably why this model for the past 4 years has been Edmunds.com best compact luxury SUV for resale value. This gorgeous particular car had an original purchase price of just under $85,000, but is still, after 5 years, worth between $47,000 and $52,000. Not a bad place to keep your money if you need a car for all seasons. So let's start by looking at the specifications and options on this particular car. Using vinanalytics.com, as I did last time with my 911, I put in the VIN, and here is the list of options that this car was ordered with and its original purchase price. Of course, because it is the turbo model and at the top of the range, it already comes with quite a rich list of specifications, and we'll go through some of those in a moment. But that includes the Porsche active suspension management that we will explore further when we're out on the road together. This particular car was ordered in a lovely shade of metallic blue and optioned with the natural leather in the coffee-coloured espresso leather. And we'll continue our journey of the Porsche Macan Turbo in the part of the car that you don't get with the 911, the rear seats. I have my driver's seat where I would have it if I was driving the car. I'm 6 foot, and as you can see, my knees are pretty firm against the back of this seat. I also have about 2 inches of space above my head, so that's pretty good. And the comfort level's generally very high. This leather is lovely. It's sculpted into my back nicely. I think if I was on a longer journey, I'd want to get out every hour or so. But for children, people are a little bit shorter than me, I think it would be fine. The leather is very high quality. I have this lovely armrest with some cup holders, and I have the benefit of this lovely panoramic roof, which lets a ton of light in as we go forward, and I can see forward pretty easily. Not a bad place to be, but not so much knee room in front of me here. And next up, the trunk or the boot. Just under 18 feet squared or 53 feet squared with the seating area down, which is not as good as its competition. But remember, this is a compact SUV and larger ones are available. Back outside, and as you can see in this particular colour of blue in this light, it looks lovely. It looks purposeful and sporty, and the sound from its 3.6 litre twin turbo V6 engine isn't too bad either. Have a listen. And the lovely Porsche-shaped key that you get with it, which can reside in your pocket because of the keyless entry that the car comes with. Keyless entry, which I shall now demonstrate. I do love a car which has some ceremony with it when it starts up. Starts off with this lovely key locking turner, ignition switch if you like. As you turn it, the seat comes down into action and the car begins to come into action. So let's turn it and switch it on. And once you get comfortable in the driver's seat, you're greeted with a festival of buttons starting below the main screen and all the way down the transmission tunnel to the armrest. At the top, it starts with demisting and defrosting controls, leading down to individual controls for the driver and the passengers, airflow and temperature, and then heated and cooled seats on both sides. Below that, Sport Mode makes the gears change even faster, and you can select your chassis setup from Comfort to Sport to Sport Plus. Controls on the steering wheel for the telephone and for the stereo, and a little diamond button which can be configured across a number of settings according to your own wishes. The screen on this 2015 model is maybe a generation off the pace, but its functionality is perfectly adequate and the quality of the screen is pretty high. So as a package, it looks pretty compelling then, right? But let's see what it's like out on the road and we'll take it for a spin. So, out in the Porsche Macan Turbo, the first thing you notice, I would say, there are two things. One is that it's luxurious, and two, it is extremely well put together. You know, it feels the money. It feels as if, you know, it feels like an $85,000 car. The other thing I would say is that compared to my early 2000s 911, it's a generation on. The dials, the capabilities, the way it looks and feels is just a generation on from that car. So the seats are really comfortable. The natural leather that was specified as an option with this car has really made a difference. It really feels luxurious, it's comfortable, the seats are well bolstered without being ridiculously sporting and pain-inducing seats. And you sit quite high up. The Macan itself is just high enough up. It's not a low down car, and I quite like that about this car. Actually, it feels more luxurious and more comfortable than other Porsches that I've driven. The gearbox is the 7-speed PDK dual clutch gearbox, and it's extremely efficient. It gets the car moving very quickly. The gear changes are almost lightning speed, almost imperceptible, and it's a really good gearbox and gets you down the road. And it's plenty fast enough too. 395 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque, and weighing just about 4,400 pounds. This thing can move. On the car is excellent. You don't feel really that you're driving any kind of wallowy SUV. This is not a Range Rover from the 80s where you'd be all over the place. This feels like a Porsche. It feels very sporting when you want it to be, and comfortable when you just want to go slowly. Kind of the best of both worlds, which I guess is the aim for this particular car. Up here in Connecticut, in the northeastern part of the United States, we get a lot of snow and ice, and I would think this would be a very sensible car. They're popular cars up here, with the combination of the four-wheel drive, the higher ride height, the performance, a supercar to own in this part of the country, and I would imagine with winter tyres almost unstoppable. The quality makes it an enjoyable car to own, and also you're not going to lose a terrific amount of money when you buy one of these, certainly second hand. I think this would be a very good second hand car to own. The quality, keeping it going, and just the general usefulness, I think it would be a very good car to own. And this is not a fake Porsche, and I'm very glad it's here. This is the real deal. Porsche have made a really good car here, and given the choice, this is the one that I would buy of the available competition. So I hope you enjoyed this film. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are, especially if you own one, and if you agree or disagree, that's all good, let me know. Also, please subscribe. It helps to motivate me, it helps me to continue producing good stuff on the channel. In a couple of weeks we're going to be looking at the Audi Q5, so if your budget doesn't quite stretch to a Porsche Macan Turbo, then that could be a good film for you to watch. Otherwise, please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.